Welcome into Hodges Fieldhouse. We are going to be watching the number 4 Iowa Central Tritons go up against the number 7 Iowa Lakes Community College team here in wrestling. I am joined in the booth by Boone McDermott. How are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
I am amazing. I am Michael Coates. We are going to be in for, I think, a pretty interesting meet. We have two highly ranked teams here tonight, and the Iowa Central is going to be starting in a little bit of a hole here.
Yeah, so the 25-pounder for the Tritons, Stephen Anthes, actually did not do too well with his weight control this week, and he actually blew weight. So that's going to start the Tritons with a deficit, and they're going to have to make up for it big time.
The Tritons have been faring well so far this season, ranked number 4, and I think they're going to be able to respond from that, at least give a good fight. It's going to be a tough hole to be coming out of, though. As their original 125 is out this week anyway, so it's going to be a scramble and effect here. But as we look through these lineups, is there any matchup that's really like stuck out to you and you're kind of Xing is if Iowa Central can come away with a win in that matchup? They have a good chance of coming away with a win in the duel.
Yeah, well, we got some pretty good matchups, it looks like, especially at 157 here. Their Iowa Lakes actually has the number 1 ranked kid, David Hollingsworth, and he'll be going up against Ethan Carson, who's actually ranked number 2. He's the returning national runner-up. So I think that'll be a big match. There'll be some big points scored, and Tritons are going to have to score a lot of bonus points in order to pick this duel up for sure. And
David Hollingsworth is not the only number 1 ranked wrestler coming in to today's matchup. We also have for Iowa Central Tyree Sutton. He comes in as number 1 in the NJCAA rankings as well. He's going up against someone who isn't ranked at the moment. So hopefully they can come across with a win there, and then that close matchup between the 1-2 and Iowa Central can scrape out of here after starting in the hole.
Yeah, for sure.
We're starting at 141, Anthony Fisher for Iowa Lakes. And for the Tritons, the freshman out of Fort Dodge, Don Lochner.
And it looks like we're going to be starting in the 141 weight class here. The hometown boy of Damon Lochner, Fort Dodge kid, he's going to be wrestling for Iowa Central. He'll be in the green. And for Iowa Lakes, Anthony Fisher, sophomore, he'll be wrestling 141. Let's get this thing started.
Looks like Damon's in on a good high crotch. A little bit of a scramble going on here. And it looks like Anthony Fisher comes on top with the takedown. But this is a kid, Damon Lochner, that I think should definitely be in those rankings. He's had a lot of top matches this season, and I think he's performed really well. Performed really well at his weight, and a
really awkward position there. You have to be a very flexible human being to be able to deal with that.
Yeah.
His shoulder was cranked as far back as I could possibly look at, but able to. What was the call there?
So it was a potentially dangerous call. It could have went very south there, with shoulders and shoulder injuries. It's never a good position to be in. So the ref likes to stop it early before anyone can get injured.
And no need to see a shoulder dislocated in the first match here tonight.
From the looks of it, this Anthony Fisher is pretty good on top. It's pretty solid riding.
He's over a minute right now already, so that at the end of the match, that would give him an extra bonus point.
Yes.
So he is 120 right now, and it stopped at 124. So
yeah, Damon's
going to have some catch-up time to be able to cancel that out.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to have to get busy here with just under a minute left here in the first period. He's going to have to get a takedown and try and get that riding time down a little bit. You know, that when you're wrestling, that does play a big part on how you wrestle when you're down. You know, let's say you're tied up in the match, but he's still got riding time. You really got to get on top and start performing, because that could change the whole way you wrestle the match.
And that 1 point, if you come out 1 point down, that affects the rest of the duel. You're already down by 6. You got to get things together here.
Yeah.
To finish out this first period, just under 30 seconds, coming up to 20 seconds left here in the first period. Here in the 141 matchup between Damon Lochner and Anthony Fisher for Iowa Lakes.
Caution top man, he jumped the whistle a little bit there. And I believe Damon chose down.
It looked like Fisher had the decision in deferred, and Lochner decided to go down. Even with the riding time pretty high, I think he must be pretty confident in his abilities to get it out from underneath there if he's going into the second period choosing down.
Yeah, from what I can see, you know, Damon really what he has to do here is he's got to get that ankle loose. The guy keeps hooking his ankle real tight, and if he can just get that loose, he'll be set. And actually here you see the ref call stalling on Iowa Lakes because he was doing nothing but riding that ankle.
Trying to ensure that riding time. Now it's up to 152. He's gone to the same position here. He's got that both his left ankle wrapped around Lochner's left ankle, trying to do a bit of a crossface there, riding that head, and he had his shoulder at a 45-degree angle face back. They had to stop that earlier too, so I can see why they'd call a stalling call there. He's trying to do something to get out from underneath, but there's just not much movement going either way, kind of a stalemate.
I mean, Damon's got a good game plan. I can see kind of why he chose down. I feel like he knows he was going to give up the riding time on top, and so he's trying to accumulate some stalling calls on the top guy, so that way late in the match he can maybe put the pressure on.
Locked up pretty much that entire period. Lochner trying to get out, but that both ankles he was locked both feet into there towards the end, trying to gain some wrist control and just no real movement going on in that period. We'll see if Lochner can get a couple takedowns here as
you see here, Iowa Lakes got a nice escape right to a reshot, which is really big here. There he goes, gets another takedown. You know, Damon's got to move on bottom. He's not doing a whole lot. He needs to explode. He needs to have some energy with him. You can't sit there with a guy like that who can ride you on top. Those guys are very dangerous.
So what strategically right now, when he has those ankles locked up, what is available to him? What can he do to try and to get out of that situation?
Yeah, the best thing he can do really is just turn his knee in and knee slide real quick and come up to his feet. That's the basic thing for everything is a knee slide. You can get out of almost anything with a knee slide. Right here, as he's scooping that, all he's got to do is turn his knee in a little bit, knee slide out, and come to his feet. A lot of guys struggle with this, though. They get their ankles rode really hard because it just doesn't really occur to them while they're wrestling to just turn their knee and knee slide
Kind of get
out.
heavy feet and just kind of want to push off the mat with their upper body, not really wanting to move through their hips.
Exactly.
And you see he's slowly just trying to stand straight up. There's not really any movement with his feet. They've been kind of stuck in that same spot here for about 20, 30 seconds as we close in on 30 seconds left here in the third period. Tries to roll out.
He's got that leg locked up. He's looking for a reversal, possibly a big move here. Kind of a funky situation. He's got to watch that knee, though, or the ref will call it. But right here, Damon is actually looking for a defensive pin, and he is. That ref's hand was off the mat. He almost called it. Damon's got, a few seconds left here to work with. Nothing can really happen.
That match comes to an end. It looks like a 7-3 after the riding time added on win for Iowa Lakes, and Anthony Fisher is going to take the win in the 141 matchup. A pretty slow start, dealing with a lot of locks and an almost injury. We'll see if this next weight class can kind of kick it into high gear, see if we can get a couple takedowns, possibly a pin going on here. And Hodges as Iowa Lakes, the number 7 ranked team in NJCAA, is going against Iowa Central, the number 4 ranked team overall right now.
And it looks like right here we got a good matchup. Number 8, Yar Aldiva from Iowa Central will be taking on number 7.
Tarchie Davis
from Iowa Lakes. I assume we can expect a lot of points in a high-paced match. That's kind of how Yar wrestles, is he likes to keep the pace up and always makes it a very interesting matches with him. And this is one of those matches we were talking about where it's going to be big that we get this win because it's one of those ranked matchups, and those are usually the ones that aren't very flexible.
It's almost as you're coming into the match, you're almost kind of banking on it. Since you feel you have a better wrestler coming into it, you're like, okay, we can kind of flex in this weight class, and maybe we can come away with a surprise win here, but we need this match to really come home.
Yeah, any ranked matchups we have on our end, we really got to go out there and show up, especially if we can try and get bonus points on them, because those are going to be matches that they're banking on winning. So for us, it's really
and flipping the script
exactly
onto
so it's really
side.
about us, winning the big matches. Those are kind of the swing matches. Always the ranked matches are always the ones that are, going to pretty much tell how the duel ends.
Make or break you, and this is a huge match. Iowa Central number 4, Iowa Lakes number 7. This back to a lockup. They're both standing up right now. It's a 2-1 score right now for Iowa Lakes and Tarchie Davis. Kind of feeling each other out here over the past 10, 15 seconds. Couple lockups and breaks. They break out of it. And
yeah, see, right now, a big thing that I know we've been working a lot on in the room is really moving the guy and trying to create our angles a lot. And, as we can see, he's doing a great job, Yara's, at keeping Matt control his butts toward the center. He's walking the guy out with good ties. See, we're setting up shots here. It's all really a game plan going into it, just staying active and trying to show who the aggressor is pretty much the whole match.
Now, is there certain moves you're going to be looking towards? Obviously, each wrestler has certain moves that they excel at. But, I mean, coming into a match, do you have certain moves that you're kind of like, okay, I want to kind of set up towards these, and hopefully I can stay away from his strong points?
Yeah, everyone really has their own things that they're good at. Yar's phenomenal at just really taking shots in, high crotches, singles, and doubles. He's very, very talented when it comes to those. And, I don't know if he watched film on them or not. Quite frankly, how we kind of roll about it is we don't really care what the other guy's going to do. We're going to go out there and we're going to wrestle our match because, a lot of times what happens is the moment you study someone else's match,
you're overthinking.
And you're going to wrestle how they wrestle and not your own.
You're playing
match.
to their game. You're not.
Exactly.
You're not doing your own thing, and you got to get in your own way.
Exactly.
After the end of the first period, 2-1, Iowa Lakes has the advantage right now. Yar decided to choose down. Looks like he's almost have a breakout, and he does. He gets the point, evens it up 2-2 here in the second period.
And as you can see, Yar got out, very quick. That's what we've been working on is, getting up. And as you can see, Yar's in a
that was super quick,
beautiful snatch single right off his setup.
And he'd been opening that up over and over on those tie-ups. He's pulling
that 2-on-1 through every time, on the edge of the mat here, seeing a little bit of a scramble going on.
Trying not to let him get too far out. He has a good hold on the leg right now.
And see, even though Yar wasn't necessarily out of the circle yet, the rule is that if they touch outside of the mat, then it's a fresh start. Then you're out of bounds.
Especially, because if you're in that situation, you're one move away from rolling and cracking the head open on the court. And that's as before. This refs have done a pretty good job so far on the safety side of things, not wanting to see anybody get hurt, keeping it clean.
Fisher's in on a shot. Yar's got some good defense going here, putting there's a lot of weight there, a lot of pressure on the other guy's head and his back and his shoulders when you're sprawling with that much weight on your hips, It's a lot to take in.
And he's reaching for that back ankle. Had it for a second, unable to keep hold of it, and they're going to stand back up and reset.
So like I said, already this match was expected to have, high energy. So far it's been a good match.
It has not disappointed so far.
Lots of shots and good defense.
And the 2 periods all knot up at 2-all.
Coming into the third period here, it's going to be 2-2 with only 13 seconds of ride time for Iowa Lakes, so not a huge advantage there, nothing they have to try and recover from. That's not going to be a huge factor here in this third period, but we'll see if someone can get a big takedown and possibly into a pin situation here. It's been pretty close, both of them wanting to gain control of the center. Neither of them really taking huge control overall, but we'll see if someone can really step away here. It's a pretty close matchup. It may come down to just one technical move. Him being able to get out of this may be the difference here at the end of this period.
Yeah, and being a number 8 to number 7 matchup, we can assume that Yar really wants this win. Another chance to climb up those rankings a little bit more, and put his name out there and let everybody know he's here. And Yar's doing a great job right now on top. He's riding tough. He's moving. He's giving the ref no chance to call stalling. Good lift and return here. Flattens the guy right out, and that's a lot on the guy. Fisher just worked very hard to get out. Davis just worked really hard to get out from bottom, and just
finally gets to his feet and then just
goes right back down. And that's a lot, And for us, we work on that a ton. Is big mat returns and staying high energy the whole match, being able to go 7 minutes. Being able to go 7 minutes without stopping and needing a breather. I think that makes a huge difference, And as Yar comes up here on just, under 10 seconds until he gets a point for riding time right here, I think we're going to see some
really explosive trying to escape and really riding hard. He's been right on that ankle as soon as possible so far.
Yeah. And as you can see, Yar's very tough on top. This is huge. If he rides him out for the next 43 seconds, the match will be over off of riding time, and that's kind of crazy. And as we can see, we got a stalling call on bottom, which, really for the bottom guy is kind of demeaning. It's not fun getting called for stalling, and it really boosts the top guy's confidence.
He right when the whistle was blown there, he had a huge explosion trying to get up, trying to get out of it, and he neutralized it, and that's got to kill your energy and your momentum. So he just kind of laid there and didn't do anything, and maybe trying to save up for another high explosive escape.
As we can see, another big return. We got short time left. Just 7 seconds here left in this match.
And well over a minute of ride time now.
Yep. So really, if he holds him down here, that's the match. But a lot of guys get that crazy energy. I've seen guys escape in 2 seconds before. So, really anything can happen. And like we see it, like I just said, he got one with just half a second left on the timer, which is never fun to see. So now it's going to come down to overtime.
So it was 2-2 until 2 seconds left.
Yep.
Escape gets him a point, but Aldiva had enough ride time. He's going to get that extra point. It's going to go 3-3 going into overtime period. How long is this overtime period?
So the first one's going to be a minute long, and it's going to be first takedown wins. So whoever gets the first takedown is going to win the match, and it'll be over. In the case that we go past that first minute and no one scores still, we'll go into a series of 30 seconds. Each guy will choose top or bottom, and you'll switch for one of them.
And then the first escape?
First, if let's say Yar chooses down the first 30 seconds, he gets an escape, they still wrestle out the 30 seconds, then the other guy will get a chance to choose top or bottom to get out or ride him as well.
Okay.
And then in the case that they tie in that, they'll go into another minute overtime and continue after that. It'll cycle through that one more time, and then I believe it'll go based off of who has the most riding time after those short goes. And a big thing here for Yar is going to be, that other guy's got a stalling call on him. He has not been doing a whole lot this match. Big thing for Yar. Great defense there.
Quick feet back and forth. He went for a shot there really quick, but took it back, able to counter Davis's attack as well. And this is going to be last 30 seconds coming up here. 3-3. Iowa Central already losing the first match, down 3-0 in the duel overall. This is a huge matchup, 8 versus 7. A lot is riding on the line, and they're going to go out of the circle. 16.9 seconds left here in this overtime period, the first one, and they both look gassed.
Yeah, they both look pretty tired. It's not easy going hard for that 7+ minutes, especially when you get into overtime. As hard as this match has been going, plenty of shots, escapes, returns. And just as I'm saying that, he takes another shot in. There looks to be no points there right now. Looks like the ref's going to go over and talk to him and see what the time was at.
As close as possible. Yar's back and buttocks went into the air right as the clock was about to go off. And before he hits the mat, the timer goes off. They're going to keep wrestling. I don't understand.
Yeah.
This is
a pretty crazy match right now. The bottom guy, though, the big thing, Davis, he from Iowa Lakes, the big thing right now is he appears to be getting slowly broken. It's a lot when you get those last second, almost takedowns, and then they don't call it. That is huge. And as we can see here with just under 15 seconds left, Yar is doing a great job riding him, and this is going to be huge because if he can ride him and get an escape and wait out the rest of that next period of overtime, that'll be huge.
So strategy-wise, you're on the Iowa Central staff. What are you telling your wrestler to choose here? Is he up or down?
Down every time, especially with how hard we work on explosiveness and being energetic in late rounds and late periods. We'll choose down probably every time, unless it's a situation where we know we're going to ride the heck out of them. There's an escape for Yar. There's about 15 seconds left. And, you know, this is huge right here. Yar can't get taken down because they'll still wrestle it out. And if perhaps Fisher does or Davis does get a takedown, the match will be solidified for him.
Under 5 seconds here. Wow. As slow as the first match was, that one made up for it. It goes into 3 overtimes, and Yar Aldiva ends up coming away with the win 4-3. A lot of energy outputted on that mat. Neither of those wrestlers should be disappointed in the way they wrestled there. They both wrestled very, very hard. Davis has to be a little disappointed, though, with how many times he almost got out from underneath on the right time, and he just got picked up, slammed right back onto the mat, and reset.
And, yeah, that was a phenomenal match. Coming up now is the biggest matchup of the night. It's the number 2 from Iowa Central, Ethan Karsten, versus the number 1, David Hollingsworth from Iowa Lakes. And as we can see, Karsten pulls a huge move there, puts him on his back, that's a 6-point move to start off, and right now that is huge for this to happen. You know, especially for him on top. Carson's got to be super pumped. You know, he's up 6-0 right in under the first minute of the match. Huge confidence booster there.
Absolutely, but this is the number 1 wrestler. He is not going to be intimidated being down 6 points. He's going to keep grinding. This is set up to be another nail-biter. Back-to-back ranked matches.
Yeah, and as we see here, Karsten is doing a great job of putting a lot of pressure on that shoulder, you know. There's a fine line between keeping it legal and really trying to hurt the guy, and Karsten is doing everything right here to put a lot of pressure on that shoulder. And, yes, like you said, being the number 1 ranked wrestler in bottom, he's not going to give up. You know, it doesn't matter if he's down 14-0. He's going to still put everything out there he can to try and win this match.
And when you're the best, you're used to getting everyone else's best shot as well. So you're not surprised necessarily by this highly explosive out of the gate jump. So he's going to stay he's going to persevere through this, but it's going to come down to technical wrestling here, and it looks like Iowa Central's doing just fine so far.
Yeah, from the looks of it, Carson's doing a great job on top right now. He's riding very tough. As you can see, he's got those legs buried in pretty deep, and he's really, really putting a lot of pressure on that shoulder, and that is tough. You know, I've been in that situation multiple times, and it's not fun, you know. And also the big thing is we look, Carson's racked up 1:45 of riding time as of right now, and that's huge because that's time, you know, you're probably not going to get back that much riding time. And, you know, knowing Karsten and the way he wrestles, you probably won't ride him for even a full period, which even at this point would not even be enough to cut down the riding time. As you see here, Karsten goes for a tilt here, getting 4 back points. This is big. Gets another 4. Nice little bar arm tilt here. Cheap tilts are very big right now, especially in like D1 wrestling. Trying to score a lot of points off this move here.
So why does he score 4 points there? What's the technicality of giving him that many points off of a move?
So it goes off of how many swipes you get while the guy's back is exposed. So the guy's back has to be exposed past 45 degrees, and the ref will swipe. If you get 1 swipe, it's no backs. If you get 2 swipes, it'll be 2 backs. If you get 3, none. And if you get 4, that's 4 backs. So you pretty much have, if you want 4 back points, you have to have their back exposed past 45 degrees for 4 seconds.
Okay. And a 10-0 coming into the second period. Iowa Central being on bottom here.
Yeah, you know, Karsten being returning national finalist from last year, doing a phenomenal job here in this tough matchup. He's been preparing super hard. As we see another shot in by him, you know, he's trying to make a statement that he shouldn't be ranked number 2. He wants that number 1 spot. He wants that national title. And he gets another takedown, and he's currently up 13-0, which is, I mean, right early in the second period.
Plus that 2 minutes plus of riding time.
He puts him on his back for back points. He's going to obviously try and look for the fall to get those bonus points, but he's going to take the tech fall. He's going to attack him 18-0 with riding time. Super pumped up. This is That was a huge match. And like I said before, getting bonus points in these big rank matchups is huge.
I was expecting a much closer matchup right there.
I was.
Everybody in here is loving it. He is excited. Everyone on the bench is excited.
You know, this is exactly what we needed to get this duel really rolling off. You know, having that deficit at 25 with no one being there, that's going to be huge. Those are such big points, you know. Taking out the #1 ranked wrestler by tech fall early in the second period is no easy feature. And as we got coming up here, Travis Willers versus Evan Insalico from Iowa Lakes. Willers coming out strong with the takedown. Personally, I've known Willers for most of my life, since about 4th grade. We used to wrestle when we were kids, all through our lives, and he's very good. He's a very talented wrestler. And like we were talking about before, with, you know, everyone's go-to move, his is got anything to do with grabbing legs. He loves takedowns. He loves everything about him. Very good on top as well, though, you know. And I'm sure we'll see another takedown come out of him here any second, just because he's a very active wrestler. And this is also another big matchup here with Iowa Lakes being ranked #7 at this weight and Willers not being ranked at all. This is another one of those big swing matches on paper that you got to win, and you're going to have to do a lot to win it because you know, they're banking on winning this. Iowa Lakes is, they know they're going to win this.
Yeah, a ranked wrestler versus an unranked wrestler. They're like, okay, this is an easy win. Move on to the next one. We gotta perform here and here.
Exactly.
We won't worry about this. And if you can flip the script here, after that tech fall, they were already banking on the 125 having those points. This can be another huge swing match as well.
Yeah, see, like I said, knowing Willers, I don't have any doubt in my mind that he will not, you know, pull off a big upset here. He's very capable of it. He's one of those guys that can go 7 minutes full without getting tired, which is very big, especially in a ranked matchup. You know, and thinking in the head of the Iowa Lakes guy, you know, you're already down 2-1 to an unranked guy when you're ranked 7. So it's no easy task. You know, it does scramble your mind a little bit, and we'll see if he has a good comeback or not.
As we start to move up in weight a little bit here, we are in the 165 class right now. How do things change once you get bigger and you get more weight on the mat? How does your overall game plan change?
You know, a lot of times it's going to come down to who can last longer. You know, because the bigger you get, the slower they are, is typically how it goes. And I think in our lineup, we're pretty solid at keeping a very high pace throughout our whole lineup, which is huge, you know, which is what kind of makes us special as a team. And, you know, it's really, as we move up, you're going to start seeing a lot less shooting and more hand fighting, probably not as many scrambles. Matches are going to be a little bit tighter, most likely.
After 2 periods, Willers leads 2-1.
After the first period, Travis Willers is going to come in with a 2-1. Take that back. It's 2-2 now after the escape. They're going back to some hand fighting as they finish out the first round or first period, doing big takedown attempt here.
Yeah, watching here, Willers he's pretty good at scrambling. I have a feeling we're going to see a good scramble here. You know, the ref right now is looking for the danger rule. If you're exposing your back, he'll start a count, and you can actually get taken down if your back is exposed for, I believe it's 3 or 4 seconds in that position. And they're going to give him the takedown, which I'm not sure. They're also going to give him the 1. That's kind of controversial. We're doing good though. We're still fighting. It's going to be 4-3. We're going to be on our feet. Willers is going to have to get another takedown. I assume he'll choose bottom in third period for his choice and get an escape, but that'll only tie it up. So looks like Evan from Iowa Lakes is currently taking injury time. Not quite sure what for. Maybe hit his head a little bit.
And that scramble over in the corner, there was a lot of rolling. Neck could have been tweaked a little bit there. His headset, it looks like he's pointing right at his temple. Maybe he feels like he got cut there, or it may be a strategy thing. He might be trying to save up some energy here. It could go in multiple ways here.
You see that a lot. You know, kids will take injury time for things that aren't actually happening to them just to catch a breather. And, you know, it looks like it could have been something with his jaw. Looked like the trainer was trying to check his jaw a little bit. Maybe. And
I'm not saying that was what he was trying to do. It's just a possibility of what he could be doing.
Yeah, of course. You know, that's very common. A lot of people do. A lot of wrestlers do it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I mean, you should get injury time if you're knocked out or bloody. You know, nothing. There's no other reason really.
We got a minute 16 here left in the second period, 4-3.
And kind of confused here. The ref did give Willers 1 point at the end of that scramble. I'm not sure for what actually at this point because he went down. Oh, that's what happened. Because the Iowa Lakes guy called injury time on his own, we actually get choice. Your opponent gets his choice. So that was actually very big for Travis Willers being able to get out there, get another point. Now it's tied up. Willers is going to have his choice in the third period, which could be huge.
Four to 4. Just under 50 seconds left here in period 2.
We got some good wrestling going on here. Lots of takedown attempts from Willers here. The other guy's kind of doing more defense and kind of trying to put his hips into things to try and get some bonus points for his team if he could get the fall.
And that's kind of the mindset you want to take in. If you have the advantage, you feel you're a better wrestler, you're ranked going against an unranked competitor, you're probably trying to go for the home run, you know, especially in the first 2 periods, trying to take him out early in the match, trying to get back for that tech fall. But we're closing in on the end of the second period, and he hasn't been able to capitalize so far. Had a pretty close chance in the far corner before he called his injury timeout. Another takedown attempt there. Very late in the round, so not much going to pan out for him. 4-4.
And then it appears Willers is going to choose down, and you know I think this could go into overtime, just like the 2 matches before. Just like Aldiva's match, it could go very far because it looks like both guys aren't very tired yet. You know, Willers is very explosive off bottom, and here we go. There's a big reversal. Willers capitalizing there very quickly. This is going to change the match now because, you know, instead of getting that 1 point and only having 1 point above him, he's going to have 2. And, you know, when they get to their feet, he can still fight and not have to worry about losing the match.
And he's gaining riding time right now, coming up on 30 seconds, a minute 30 left in the match. So there's plenty of time for him to also get that riding time in case.
And as we see here, Willers is going for a pinning combination here, putting that hand, keeping it, lots of pressure on that arm and that shoulder, putting it back there. And this is just going to help him, you know, keep ringing up that riding time because, I mean, it's a pinning combination, so you can't really call stalling on it. And here we see he's trying to do a little bit of a 3/4 Nelson action or quarter Nelson, whatever you want to call it. Just about getting the guy. Keeping that bar here. Just got his minute of riding time. You know, he's going to be up by 3 points essentially right now. And bottom just gets called for stalling. Willers, huge suck back, puts him on his back, and the fall is called. So that was huge right there. Big bonus points. You know, he caught the guy in a good position, capitalized on sitting out lazy and lackadaisical and not exploding too much.
Another really explosive match. Started off a little bit slower, but as you said, once you get into the higher weights, it's kind of a grind it out type of a match. And as we move up yet another weight class here,
I've been really looking forward to this match. Ashton Eiler from the Tritons. He's currently ranked number 3 in the NJCA rankings versus Bumney Smith from Iowa Lakes. He's currently ranked number 4. So again, another very top ranked matchup that could go either way. And I think it's going to be very exciting knowing how Ashton Eiler wrestles. He likes to have fun with it and likes to put on a good show for his team and the crowd and everybody.
And after that match, Iowa Central is going to be up 14-3 overall in the duel. They have not added the points yet for the 125 matchup. Still just 3 points after the first match. Iowa Lakes took away the win. After that, a tech fall, a close overtime win, and that pinfall here to close out that 165 matchup. Very good matchup coming in. Now we have the 174. Just over 2 minutes left here in the first period. Kind of feeling each other out still. I'm ready for another explosive match.
Yeah, a big thing we've been, talking about in the room is, we're closing in on that postseason. It's just about 4 weeks away, and we really got to start picking it up. And, right now we are looking. Right now our lineup is looking on fire. Everyone is doing everything they need to be doing in this duel to help the team out, especially because we're giving up that 6 points at 25. Huge. Ethan Karsten with a tech fall over the number 1 ranked guy in the country, and then Travis Willers with a fall over the number 7 ranked guy in the country, not even being ranked himself. It's really big getting those big bonus points. Those are the matches that Iowa Lakes was 100% relying on winning because of their higher ranking over the other guys. And flipping the table on them like this is awesome. It's awesome to see. It's good to do in front of the home crowd.
And how much of a factor is that at this level? Wrestling at home, do you have that much more of a chip on your shoulder, and are you trying to just out-wrestle the guy across from you just even more?
Yeah, especially being at home duels. It's awesome to be able to represent your school. And as we see here, Ashton Eiler locks up a nice cradle, gets a takedown, nice cradle, getting back points here. Maybe he might try to adjust and get the fall, which would be another huge bonus points. But yeah, it's always huge wrestling in your home crowd because you're always trying to show everybody who you are and how good you are, and it's always fun to put on a show for the home crowd. Everyone's always got high energy, and it doesn't matter what level you're at. Everybody always loves to compete. That's what it is. It's competing, and everyone loves to watch it and be a part of it. So right now how the match is going, just into the second period, 6-0, Ashton Eiler's up. Big cradle there.
He rode that for quite a while. About 42 seconds of riding time right now. It's going to be a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, and the big thing, he kept that cradle because it's a pending combination. You can't really get called stalling, so it's a perfect time to sit there, and while you go for the fall, you can accumulate that riding time.
With also not giving a massive amount of energy as well.
But the other guy does have to give up a massive amount of energy. As you can see here, he calls injury time. Looks like he did something to his shoulder. He's rolling around like a fish out of water here.
It looked like he might have just popped that out just slightly. It looks like his hand just a little bit low. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong up in that area, and the fact that he stopped so quickly, he turned towards us, and it looked just enough out of place, and he's grimacing now as the trainer's trying to work on it a little bit. It
appears though he might have dislocated it or something, but I'm not quite sure. If he would have dislocated it, I feel like they would have popped it in, but it kind of looks weird from here. Looks a little divoted in, and it doesn't look too pretty. And even here, I had no doubt Ashton probably would have came out with a major or the tech or the pin. He's very capable.
Already up 7-0.
He's shown this in the last few months of the season. He's been a top guy, and he wants that title this year. And I planned on him getting bonus points regardless of rankings or who he had in front of him. Ashton Eiler's a guy you can count on for getting bonus points in almost any match. And looks like the guy is going to be all set. We're going to have choice here because of injury time, so we will probably choose down, I'm guessing, get another free point, which will secure the major for now.
And Brumney is still really struggling. He's trying to walk it off. He's trying to move it. I haven't seen him lift it above his hip even. So just a little bit of pressure being on top. I don't see him being able to recover from that, at least fully to how he was at the start of the match. He was really slamming, throwing hands around, and it just doesn't look the same.
Another thing to notice is right now, Ashton just wants to get after it. He walked over the coach's table telling him to let's go. He's pumped up right now. Up 7-0 against the fourth-ranked guy is awesome. It's a great feeling being up, and especially when your team is performing super well right now, pulling some big upsets and some big points on the board. Makes you want to wrestle even better. Looks here he's going for a little step back tilt there. And as you can see, Iowa Lakes puts a nice tilt up. Gets 2 back points on Ashton. He's ripping on that knee there. Wow, that was terrible. And he's going to call that illegal because that did look intentional. Ashton's in pain, quite a bit of pain. He's already got a pre-existing knee injury. He looks to be in a lot of pain. That was terrible, very unsportsmanlike conduct there coming from the Iowa Lakes. Ashton did get a point out of it, but I don't think that's really sufficing for, a potentially career-ending injury there.
Yeah, he was trying to look like he was trying to touch his heel to his hip. It was just not the way things should go.
Yeah.
It's so, if it looks that unorthodox, it almost seems intentional no matter what. Even if it was just him trying to wrench and it kind of just went past that threshold of you being able to hold it back. It never looks good from the
and from
fans' point.
From up here, it definitely looked intentional that he was trying to probably pull it a little farther than it should go. He grabbed it and he ripped it really hard, really forward and really outwards. I think it's. I don't like seeing that in matches. A lot of people do it because, maybe he's mad that he hurt his shoulder and he wants to even the odds out. And, that could play a big part in this match. As you can see here, Ashton's kind of taking a beating here on top. But, you never know. His knee could be in tons of pain right now, and he's just going to have to. Just trying
to write it out. It's only the second period. He's still walking a little gingerly on it. He has something on his right knee. If this last third period, after the 16 seconds, he has a chance to possibly get a 1-point escape here. But that third period is going to be a struggle. He's going to really have to pull through that.
And
with a decent lead right now, 8-2. Yeah. But as the minute of ride time just now goes towards Iowa Lakes is Brumney Smith's way in this 3-4 matchup between Ashton Eiler and Brumney Smith.
Yeah, Ashton getting another point there. Maybe he got cut a little early and got the escape. That was kind of a flaw for the Iowa Lakes. And
he was just kind of looking around. He's like, I thought. Yeah. He must have thought that the time was a little closer to out than it actually was.
Ashton Eiler, also known as our team as the Cowboy on our team, he had a pretty sick mullet going on. He actually shaved his head completely recently, and things are getting pretty aggressive here. But, Ashton wanted to make a change. Here we go. We're going to go another unsportsmanlike conduct. Ashton wants all of it. He's all for it. He's all for it right now. And it's funny because Ashton, the other guy's doing symbols at him.
He's getting more points every
time, and it doesn't make sense because he's making the hand gesture of "you're all talk" when Ashton right now is completely destroying him at this point. He's got up a major decision.
But that's a smart move on that part. I mean, even though it is giving points, he's trying to really like get him to take a swing
And
at
as
him.
we see here, we're going to have a disqualification, and Ashton wants all of it. He broke him. He did break him. I think that's going to be a fun one to see at the national tournament for sure. But Ashton Eiler doing what he's got to do, you know, staying smart, getting the 6. Like I said, big bonus points again. Maybe not the way we wanted it, but
no, not the way you plan it either. But
definitely a little excitement there.
That's some mental toughness too. As you see him hold back, there's nothing stopping him from doing anything he wanted. You know, they were chest to chest there. I mean, the referee was in between them there for a little bit, but I mean, if they really wanted to, those two guys could have done anything. The able to hold yourself back in that situation, huge.
Yeah, and the big thing, you know, Ashton, you know, a lot of coaches, you know, back down, don't take any risk. Ashton wants all of it, you know. Ashton's all about, you know, the battle. And
if he can rock a mullet and then shave his head, he's about that life. He's going to be the one that isn't backing down from anything.
Exactly, and he really is, you know, he's kid's a fighter at heart, you know. He just loves to battle and compete, and always down for some good competition regardless what it is. Coming up on our 184-pound matchup here from Tritons, we have Brian Stanford versus Marcus Placide from Iowa Lakes.
Iowa Central up 20-3 overall in the duel after 2 tech falls, one from a disqualification after a very heated matchup right there. Look forward to the next time those two see each other. It's going to be
for sure. And you know, if a match like that happens at the national tournament, that's going to be insane, because that'll be the time when Ashton does need to hold back and be careful, because that guy's going to come out swinging just like this time. As you can see, Brian Stanford had a nice takedown, nice double leg takedown. Only holds 9 seconds of riding time. Iowa Lakes gets the escape.
a minute and a half here left in the first period, 2-1. Locked up there for a little bit, single leg takedown.
Brian Stanford gets another double leg. He's got to get off those legs or he's going to get called. It looks like he's actually off the legs. I don't know why they called that stalling.
Maybe it looked kind of like his right arm was kind of pinched underneath as Iowa Lakes was leaning on the left side there. Going to call a stall either way. 4-1, minute 16. Iowa Central performing very well so far today. Number 4 Iowa Central Tritons going up against the number 7 Iowa Lakes Community College Wrestling, and 20-3. Not even close so far.
You know, the big thing about this duel is it was huge for us because actually losing to Iowa Lakes just before Christmas break was a bad way for us to end our first part of our season, you know, going into break. And it was big for us. We've been working really hard, especially for this duel, just to kind of show people that, you know, okay, we had a bad duel. We're not worried about it. Here's who we are. You know?
We're going to recover from it. We're going to work hard, and we're going to start off this next semester, this kind of last stride into, you know, the state or the tournament, the final tournament, and just trying to end on a good note, end on your best play, with your best wrestlers, giving your best amount of effort.
Brian Stanford in on the legs again. Great defense by Placide from Iowa Lakes.
First period, Stanford leads 4-2.
Into the first period, Stanford is going to lead 4-2 with 16 seconds of ride time. Not a whole bunch, but something he could continue to work on and extend here in the second period as he's going to start on top.
Yeah, he made a good decision, deferred there. He's already got the lead, so let the other guy choose. Third period, we're probably going to see him choose down and get an escape. 4-3, though. It's a close match. Neither of the wrestlers are ranked at this weight, but that's what makes it fun. Neither of them are ranked. So
yeah,
it's
neither of the teams are banking on a win here.
Exactly.
They just want to see their wrestlers compete, get better, and really give it their all.
The thing here, Brian's going for a lot of shots here. As you can see from our wrestlers at Iowa Central, we have very good mat awareness. We're keeping our butts to the center and making sure that guy's on the outside, putting a lot of pressure on him because, right there, if Brian shoots him off, we get a point. So it's you really got to keep the pressure on him and continue to push the pace the whole match. So we can see here, Placides on a good shot there. Stanford's defense doing a phenomenal job, staying in good position, not putting himself in the danger, controlling ankles.
To be able to keep that strong core in that position, face down onto the mat, grabbing ankles and straddling with your legs, all that just in a pure. And with that, Placides is going to be taking the lead. He's up 5-4, and ride time has just switched over to him to start counting, even though there is 10 seconds left here in the second period.
We could potentially see another overtime match going 4-5 in the third period with Stanford's choice. He's most likely going to choose down, and we could, if nothing happens on their feet again, we could potentially see another overtime match. And Brian Stanford actually last week coming off a very big win over the Ellsworth wrestler, who I believe was ranked top 3 in the rankings. A very good win, had a very good match. Right now Stanford's got to open it up. He's got to start to create that deficit, and he's got to create angles. He can't keep shooting straight in like that. And there we go, nice reshot. That's going to be 2 here for sure.
And that's the pro to choosing up right there. He's been shooting really well. He's been getting good looks. So he says, I don't want to get the 1 point from an escape. I want to start straight up, try and get 2 points and flip that riding time. Yeah. He just did that as well. Minute and a half left here in the third period, up by 1. He's really going to be trying to just keep him down.
Yes. And, as we're going to see an escape here, it's going to tie the match up. Brian, there we in on another double leg again. That's going to be another takedown. And Brian's got to continue to work up. He keeps forgetting he's got to continue to work up. He's not actually on the legs, and the ref's going to say he is. So that's going to be another stall call, which is not good for Brian. That's going to give the other guy a point.
And a choice of?
No, Brian did get the takedown. He gave him the takedown.
Okay, so he's going to be starting
Brian was just
on top.
Holding the legs for too long on the count, so had to call him. With just under a minute left here, this is
right back into the same situation of looking at overtime wrestling.
Exactly.
Back 8-8, but with as many shots as he's been taking and being able to land, very capable of waiting until the last 30 seconds, kind of saving up some energy and being able to take a big shot and then trying to ride it out from there.
Exactly.
And even if they do escape, you could be still up 1 point. Ride time's not going to be a huge issue here. 23 seconds in Stanford's way for Stanford. So,
as we see here, under 30 seconds left. Brian hits another shot attempt, and he's going to have to pick it up right here. This is going to be big because, I think we'd be fine going into overtime. Gets the takedown very quick. 12 seconds left. He's going to cut him here. He's got to stay smart here, though. Otherwise, he will get called for stalling. Just under 5 seconds left here. And looks like Brian Stanford's going to come away with the win on this one. No points on that last attempt there. But we do get the win. And that's another good win.
10-9, all close matches, except for the Tech Falls one disqualification, one tech fall with the biggest matchup we were looking at coming into this. Beyond what I expected for tonight. I knew there was going to be two good teams coming in here, but one team is performing extremely well. Iowa Central 23, Iowa Lakes 3 as we move into this next weight class.
Yeah, I think, rolling up here, Tyree Sutton ranked number 1, the wrestler unranked. Like you said, we can see anything from unranked wrestlers. They're never out of the picture. But knowing Tyree and wrestling with him quite often in the room, I think we can probably expect to see some bonus points here, which would just make this duel look even better on paper, finishing it out with big points. And as we can see, Robinson from Iowa Lakes goes for a throw attempt. Doesn't work out too well, gets taken down.
A great awareness there as he saw him start to see and feel him kind of pull back there, able to kind of widen his base and just kind of fall on top of him, not let him get any leverage to lift him up off the mat.
Exactly.
And it was just a really good counter there from Sutton.
Nice duck attempt, inside trip, very nice attempt at a takedown here. We're out of bounds, it's called, but very good chain wrestling. That's a big thing you got to do in college wrestling is you got to chain wrestle. You have to put two or more things together in order to get a takedown sometimes. And we're looking really good at that tonight. I think Iowa Central as a whole has been wrestling like that all night, putting multiple things together.
And as you move up in levels, it turns into more of a chess match. You have to be thinking a few moves ahead, and you see some tendencies coming at you. You're going to be able to counter that and see where they're going, and it's got to be all fluid.
Exactly.
You can't be stopping to think, okay, what do I do now? Which is much different than when you go into the high school and even lower than that.
Yeah.
When you're first learning, it just continues to grow and grow and grow, and you're seeing two wrestlers so far that have been doing pretty well fluidity-wise.
Exactly. Iowa Lakes here calling blood time, it looks like, for a nosebleed. And yeah, even right now, being 23-3, the duel is already locked in. If they get their 6 at 3 different weights, it would only be 21 points, and that would not be enough total for them. So, right now,
this is the pride for now.
Exactly, and right now this is where we're gonna go in for the kill. We're gonna try and make a statement like we're here.
We don't wrestle to our competition. We're wrestling to dominate every time we step on this mat.
As you see, lots of power from Tyree Sutton there, also known as Gucci. Puts him to his back there, going for the fall. A fall here would be huge. 6 more bonus points could potentially put us in the range to hit above 30 points, which would be phenomenal.
Another throw attempt from the Iowa Lakes, Taryn Robinson. Neither time really working out for him. I mean, is that a strategy that a lot of wrestlers come in trying to do, or is that kind of more of a unique move that only a few wrestlers try and
it's a very common move that he's going for every time he tries to throw Sutton. And, wrestling Sutton, he's got such good hips and such good mat awareness. As you can see here, he's looking to settle for the fall. And there he goes. 6 more points for the Tritons. Doing a little celebration, getting the crowd hyped up. Lots of energy tonight in here.
He was up 8-1 before that. Yeah. He was dominating. Ends up just getting the pinfall. He's going to make it 29-3 as we move into the heavyweight matchup here between Gunnar Cash and Mitchell Williamson. Neither one of these wrestlers ranked either. Another one of those unranked matches for Pride here. Obviously for Pride either way. But I did see Mitchell Williamson warming up. He looked very sturdy, very centered, not really easy to move, and we'll see if either one of these wrestlers can get a big takedown and kind of flip the script and get a good lead. Because with heavyweight matchups, it's usually that one big move.
Yep, that one big move, and a lot of heavyweight matches, it's all hand fighting, and that's kind of boring, which is nice about Gunnar Cash because he's always taking shots. You know, in his past matches, he's grown a lot this season from, you know, the beginning of the season not really taking shots to the last duel, you know, taking 6, 7 shots and scoring. You don't see that too much out of heavyweights, which is pretty big right now. And as we can see here, getting drove out. Nice throw attempt by Gunnar. Puts him on his back, but we're out of bounds. That's a big mental thing right there. You know, getting thrown, it's like, okay. Now
once you feel your body in the air, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Now the Iowa Lakes guy, he probably won't put that pressure in again because he's got it in his head. Okay, I can get thrown and I might get stuck, and nobody wants to get pinned. As we can see here, you know, talking about the heavyweights, lots of hand fighting again. You know, that's probably the biggest part of the match is hand fighting on the feet. And right now, Gunnar Cash has got to do a good job at circling his butt to the center. We got to have good neck control. Little snatch single here from Williamson. Big return. They give him the takedown. That's going to be one escape for Cash right away, though.
And it looks like Williamson has been really hooking Cash's left shoulder, just kind of trying to get that leverage. As earlier in the match, he threw him after that. That time he ends up getting more leverage, able to lift him up in the air, gets a takedown. What's a good defense against that type of hold?
You know, a wrestler getting in there, getting his underhooks in deep, you really got to put your arm in and circle out really hard. You want to put a lot of pressure on their shoulder before they can even get to that point. And you know, big chess match here. Both guys looking for big throws. You know, not really ideal for what we're looking for at Iowa Central. We want lots of shots and quick points. Nothing too risky.
Almost kind of playing to his game at this moment,
Exactly.
Not really trying to play Iowa Central's game. He's just getting hooked really deep right there. Not much he can try and move out of it now, but it looks like he's kind of more working with that right hand, not worrying about the fact that left hand's hooked.
And Iowa Lakes has a body lock here. Gunnar Cash looking very comfortable, trying to walk it in a little bit. Iowa Lakes get out of there. Snatch single attempt from Gunnar Cash, but nothing here. You know, that you get to those heavyweights, those legs are big. Wrestling heavyweight myself, not being the biggest guy on the team, it's not easy picking their legs off the ground. So closing out the first period here, 2-1 in favor of Iowa Lakes. We got a match here. Appears Gunnar Cash is going to choose down, try and get an escape, or as you see a lot at heavyweight, is a lot of reversal to near fall. That's very big point moves coming from bottom. Coming up to a stand-up, getting out, and right on the attack.
Minute 40 left here in the second period. Twos on both sides. A lot of standing up, a lot of hand fighting so far. But this meet has been crazy. 29-3, Iowa Central leads. The number 4 Iowa Central Tritons lead the number 7 Iowa Lakes Lakers. It's been really intense, and there's been a disqualification.
Yeah.
There's been a couple pins and tech fall. It's been
crazy, you know, and this is what everyone strives for. Being a team is having a lot of fun, scoring a lot of bonus points, really giving a butt whooping to the other team. You know, as we can see here at heavyweight, it's just a chess match, and that's kind of how this duel has been. Is just a battle every match, regardless of the score. Everyone's fighting their hardest and trying really hard. We saw in the disqualification match, in Ash Nyler's match, you know, that was very aggressive. You know, tons of stuff going to that. Gunnar Cash with a throw attempt gets taken down. That's something you know, I don't like to see. I don't think our coaches like to see it either, is giving up dumb points like that. If the throw's there, you can take it, but it looks like he's more.
Don't try and force anything
Exactly.
there, especially you're coming to the close of the second period. Williamson's going to be down to start the third period. Gives them another chance for an easy point. So far, you haven't shown anything to say that you could ride him for the whole third period. Down 1 point. Now, instead of being tied up and just kind of continuing that chess match.
Exactly.
Williamson leads 4-3 after 2.
Yep, so like we thought, Williamson's going to choose down. Let's see though, you never know. Some guys aren't very explosive off the bottom. As we can see, he wasn't. He sat there a little bit. And, that's something Gunner's got to capitalize on.
Maybe waiting to try and get that counter and get in a near fall.
Exactly.
Maybe trying to end this match just a little sooner than expected.
Gunner Cash looking for a few cradle attempts here, try and get some back points. Williamson gets the escape though. Current score is 5-3, minute and 40 seconds left. Gunner's really going to have to pick it up here if he wants to win, because we can expect Williamson to get out of bottom if he gets taken down. Personally, I love the heavyweight. It's known as more of a heavyweight move. It's just a little snatch single. I got to give a lot of credit to my high school coaches. Jeremy Buffelli and Joel Allen, they perfected this move with me, and I tried teaching Gunner a little bit. Gunner comes up. No points here. Pretty crazy scramble. Gunner gets a takedown with around 52 seconds left. The score is tied. So Gunner's going to cut him here, actually, and go for another takedown. With just 45 seconds remaining, I think we're going to see some high intensity here at this heavyweight level.
Really gutsy move. He's going to give him a point to be up by 1 point. He doesn't have the right time. Coming up on 30 seconds remaining. We'll see if Gunner Cash can have a huge takedown here, or if Mitchell Williamson's just going to hold on
Gunner Cash shooting his way through this. He takes a shot, stalling on Williamson. Williamson's kind of still stalling. Gunner's sitting here under 15 seconds left, closing in that point. He's got to get out of this tie and try and take a shot.
Maybe for a throw here is what.
He actually gives up his legs. We're out of bounds, and the ref did not call it at all, which is very odd. Iowa Lakes is going to take this match 6-5. Good match.
Knowing you're coming in with a 29-3 lead also can kind of dictate how you play at the end of that match. You're like, okay, if we do lose this match, it's not the end of the world. So maybe I play be a little more gutsy and see if I can get a big takedown to end that match, and he doesn't end up getting that.
Gunner Cash gave up some points there, some takedowns that he probably shouldn't have given up. No biggie. Just got to work on it, have a better game plan going in. And here we're going to give up the forfeit at 125 as Steven Anthes did not make weight. Like I said, poor weight management this week. Not very good.
Some of that Christmas weight ended up staying on a little bit too long into this first semester.
He's just got to, just like everybody else, got to try and keep your weight down and maintain it. Nobody said it was easy, but it's just you do what you got to do for your team. And, that's a big thing. This duel could have been a lot closer if some of those matches wouldn't have went our way. And giving up that 6 points at 125 could have definitely altered the match. So him not making weight is definitely a problem. And I think that's going to, we got 33 here. Current score is 29-12. Walking out of this match with a win, it'd be great to walk out with a win and end the duel on a win here. Neither wrestler is ranked here. Josh Garcia is a freshman, and Avery Holder is a freshman as well. So can expect to see probably a good match. It's 133, so lots can happen. Lots of energy. There's
a lot of energy going back and forth because there's going to be a lot of takedowns, a lot of escapes. Possibly a pinfall, but I haven't seen one in a while since I've watched wrestling at this way. There's been a lot of just crazy endings and some overtime matches, but no real pinfalls, maybe some tech falls. But with two unranked wrestlers here, no real big skill set difference. But this is something good as a coaching staff. You can see the development of your young wrestlers. Because you see them right when they come in as you start into wrestling season. The first couple meets, if they are actually wrestling. And you can see the development, see what they're improving on, seeing if they're taking in the information that you're giving them.
Exactly.
It's really cool for a development type of match here.
Exactly. And, watching Josh Garcia from the beginning of season, he's leaps and bounds from where he was. He's opened up so much more. He's been listening. He's very coachable. You can expect to see he doesn't quit a lot. That's one of those guys that just doesn't quit no matter what. And it's a good wrestler to have on the squad. It's everyone. I think every team needs a guy like him, someone who doesn't quit, or like someone like Ashton Eitler, who is never gonna back down, who's gonna stick up for whatever. And
good old mullet man.
Yeah.
You need that energy in your locker room.
Exactly.
Someone who's sometimes it might be a little too intense. Sometimes they bring too much energy, but that stirs up the pot, and you know that they're gonna bring it every single day, and you just respect that. Leaps and bounds. You
Ashton Eitler being called, his nickname's the Cowboy. So, if that says anything, Cowboys are grit and tough, and that's exactly Ashton Eitler. He pulled off that big getting the kid got disqualified for not being able to hand fight properly and running his mouth a little bit too much, but
and taunting there for quite a bit. To be able to keep your cool during that. That's huge. Something you can take away as a positive. What are some things that you've seen today that you're going to need to take in information? You're going to have to adjust as you move forward.
A big thing I think is probably bottom work. A lot of our guys did a phenomenal job tonight. I think we wrestled phenomenal. There's not too much we can take from this duel because we really did put a true beating on this team, and everyone wrestled to their fullest potential. A couple wrestlers struggled to get out of bottom. A couple wrestlers need to start pairing 2-3 things together, like
chain wrestling,
Brian Stanford or Gunnar Cash. They need to start working on chain wrestling more often and scoring more points.
Yeah, because Stanford, all of his moves were those big double leg takedowns. He was really explosive, but it wasn't 2 or 3 things put together. It was just a quick shot and able to go on from there. As that competition gets better and as you close towards the end of the season, they're not gonna let you do that just every single time. They're gonna be blocking you more and more, and something that they'll be able to take away. Even though this was a really exciting match or a meet duel. There's still a lot of things that you can improve on.
We see here reversal from Iowa Lakes, just capitalizing on Garcia getting in bad position there for just a second. You can see how fast the whole match can change, from a 0-0 score to a 2-1 score, and being down. Another shot attempt by Garcia. I think the Iowa Lakes wrestler will get hit here pretty soon with a stalling. If he doesn't keep, right there, he just contradicted everything I said. I was going to say he's going to get called for stalling here soon, but does a good job of taking a shot and trying not to get called for stalling.
Just under 40 seconds left here in the second period. 2-1 as Avery Holder is up on Josh Garcia here in the final match.
Garcia looking for a little bit of a cradle here with just 23 seconds left in the second period here. This would be big, getting a takedown right at the end of this period.
Just trying to get that lock broken on his left knee there.
Really, if Garcia could just scoop that leg there and pinch the cradle, right there he has his hands locked, that's going to be 2. If Garcia can quickly take him over, get some points here, got to be careful, stay in good position. And that's going to be the end of the period there. No back points, but a good late period takedown. That's what we need to be doing, scoring those late period takedowns. And that's another thing we need to work on is scoring those late period takedowns, having that high energy in the last 30 seconds of every period, trying to win the end of the period.
After that late period takedown. Josh Garcia is going to come into this third period up 3-2, starting in the bottom position, able to get the escape. He's going to be up 4-2. He's going to have to close this out as Avery Holder seems to he had that one takedown attempt, but other than that, kind of just locking up, looking more like a heavyweight matchup right now. Not too much going on shooting-wise, but
yeah, and both of them being freshmen, they're not quite at the point where they're ready to open it up completely. They don't really, they haven't really grasped that it's okay to have high energy and shoot as much as you want. As long as you're in good position, you should be fine. And expect next year as Josh Garcia is wrestling, I'm sure he'll be a totally different wrestler. He'll probably be completely more opened up.
And those smaller guys, that's something they really need to take advantage of.
Exactly.
You have your size. You got to be able to be high energy, because as you go later in the season, that's all you're going to see is from guys, is just being those really high energy small guys that are going to be taking shots all over the place, really working your chain moves and your entire skill set.
Exactly, and stalemate on the edge of the mat there. Garcia was in on another shot. Coming down in the last 40 seconds of the match here, 4-2 Garcia leads. Overall, I think he's doing a great job at controlling this match. He's taking good shots. Really the only thing he gave up was a reversal. But see a little funk coming out of Iowa Lakes there, trying to go for a little a Merkle there.
15 seconds left here in the third period. Closing in on the last of that 7 minutes of wrestling.
And just as we thought this was going to be closed out, I believe the ref awarded him the takedown. So
as you move towards those corners of the mat, you got a little bit of more area, past that, so that just a little bit more leeway as you get towards the outside of that circle, as safety is not as big of an issue.
And he does not get the escape. Very close. This is going into overtime, this is going into overtime. Another overtime matchup here. This is the second time we've seen a match go into overtime in the last few seconds. There was just under 15 seconds left when Garcia got taken down and couldn't quite get out. We saw the same thing with Yar Aldiva's match. In the last few seconds, gave up the escape to take it to overtime. Right here, it's a battle. Right now we're 7+ minutes into the match, and it's tough going that long.
With two freshmen on the mat here too, just some of the stuff, maybe some of that nerves and being too afraid to take shots is kind of falling off now. That it's like it's all or nothing here. It's tied up. I got to try something.
Yeah. Definitely looking like a battle. Garcia, that's a very big stalling call here. He's going to finish for the takedown. Very good overtime takedown to finish out the duel here. Final score is going to be 32-12. Very dominant performance by Iowa Central.
The Iowa Central Tritons come in ranked number 4 in their last home meet of the season, I believe.
Yes.
We appreciate you listening in. Congratulations to the Iowa Central Tritons. Huge win, 32-12, all across the board, performing well. Half of the points for Iowa Lakes coming off of a person not making weight.
Exactly.
So something, not a lot to take away as the negative from this meet, but that being one of them. Iowa Central, huge confidence boost. A lot of good on matches. A lot of these guys are going to be taking in a lot of momentum as they finish out this season, and we're excited to see where this team can go, finish out the season.
Yes, of course.
We thank you for watching. Thank you for watching on Triton Nation. Like and subscribe so you can watch all of Triton's home games. I've been Michael Coates.
Boone McDermott.
Thank you, and have a good night.